Hi everyone, and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking to you about step 4 in the impact and influence blueprint that I've put together, that going through it will lead you to hyper HR presence. So what do I want to cover? In the last few videos that I did, if you've seen them, I talked about step 1, 2, and 3. We're now going to get in, and they were all about impact. Now what I want to talk to you about is influence. How do we really get that lasting and impactful influence? So what are we going to go into? So today's video, I really want to talk to you about how intelligent is your HR analytics and what you as HR professionals or HR leaders must get right. And I want you to start thinking about how are you using your HR data to become more intelligent, to make more intelligent decisions? Are you or are you not? Because why else are you capturing data? So influence factor number 1 is all around this intelligent influencer code that I want to share with you real quick. So where do you start? Often people ask me, where do I start? Do I start with data? No, we don't start with the data. What we need to do is to start with questions. What are those questions that you have about what's going on in your organization that if you had the right data, it would give you the answers to it? So plain and simply, when you start thinking about data, you first got to come up with some questions. Or more to the point is, ask yourself, what is the business problem? What is the business problem or challenge I'm currently experiencing that if I had the data and I could, kind of data mine it and get some insights from it, would give me the answers as to what we should do or shouldn't do as a business or as a HR function or as a set of leaders. So this is really where we're coming from. When we start to think about where do we start? Business problem, what are the questions? What is the questions that if you had the data, the right data, because the right data being will give you the answers to the questions that you have. And those questions around how do we solve the business problem? We're having turnover, in the business. Where is the turnover happening? Question. Where is it happening least or most? Questions. So what can we do about reducing it? Questions. Then go and find the data that's going to give you the answer to those set of questions. Make sense? Simple, right? Think about it in this way. So when I talk about having influential and intelligent data, I start thinking about hindsight. Of course, you guys have got to capture what's going on last month, last quarter, last year, etc., right? But it doesn't stop there. You now need to move towards taking this hindsight and getting some insights out of it. Hindsight is 2020 if you learn something from it, right? It's like, oh yeah, we could have learned from it. Yeah, but you're doing the same thing. You're not doing anything different, right? So we've got to think about what insights are you getting from your hindsight. And if you're not getting any insights, it's not great data, okay? It's not a good report. Too often we do lots of hindsight reporting. It's interesting, but it's not giving us any insight. And the insight that you want to get is going to give you some direction as to where do we need to go? What could we do in the future? What can we do to prevent this from happening in the first place, right? It's that foresight reporting. It's like, am I getting any foresight from my data? Because if I'm not, I've got to start questioning whether my data is really good or not. Because ultimately, what I want to do is supply intelligence to the leadership team in an influential way. And the way in which I do that is I provide my leaders with data that they can act on, that they can make a decision on. In other words, I help the leadership team become more decisive. I kind of give them those aha moments, that thought-provoking data that they kind of go, all right, I now know what I need to do. And that's all I want you to think about in this, in this first element, this intelligent influencer code, right? It's just about the hindsight, making sure that your hindsight delivers the right insight to give you the foresight. That's really all I want you to get in this video. Of course, there's lots more I could talk to you about in terms of data intelligence, but I want to keep this short, sharp, and punchy. So hopefully you found that video useful. Join me on my next video where I'm really going to be talking about, without this focus, guarantee you HR will never be taken seriously or valued. So hopefully see you on the next video. Take care for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.